All right, gents, let's now switch gears a little bit and talk about the US men's national team because they played a big part in this World Cup and they're a big focus for us as well. And Nick, I mean, what would you kind of give as a grade to the US men's national team based on their performance in Qatar? Now it's all said and done. Now it's all wrapped up. Because overall, I think we'd all agree it was better than we thought it was going to be heading into it. I wouldn't want to look back at our preview show before the World Cup now, because I don't think any of us are really that high on the US. But you were the highest. You thought they could actually do something at this World Cup.
Yeah, but don't give me too much credit. I just literally thought they were the second-ranked team in FIFA and ELO ratings in their group, and I thought they'd manage it. I also thought, again, don't give me too much credit, I thought they'd beat Wales and be fine. I thought they might need to draw a round to get through. I thought they'd get smacked by England, and they weren't. So, I made the right call, but it was, with the wrong phone number. Here's what I think. I don't want to drop them down a grade or raise them a grade based on what's come out about Gio Reyna. Because my biggest problem with Berhalter was that he wasn't playing Gio Reyna. Now I understand why he didn't play. But at the same time, do I give them better than a B or do I give them better than a B minus? Do I give them a B for doing almost exactly what I thought they would do? And I don't think I can. And I don't think it would be fair to know this Reyna story and then move them into a B plus or a C plus. So I'm going to go with B minus.
All right. Andy, what do you think, mate?
Yeah, I'd give them a solid B from obviously get out of the group. You're competitive in your knockout round game against a team that turned out to be one of the more surprising good performers at this tournament. But it wasn't just about the results that they got. It was the performances, and it was a massive, think back to 2014 and the way that team played. And granted, they were in an incredibly difficult group with Portugal, Ghana, and Germany. And so every single game just felt like literally surviving to live and play another day. And so it was a little bit different from that perspective. But how many times have we also seen the U.S. men's national team up against inferior opponents that they, whether through lack of confidence or belief or ability, let them dictate the game, let them be the team that's on top, let them control the game. And they did that almost none at this tournament, the U.S. And so they were group stage, 6 halves played. They were the better team in 5 of them. Knockout round, they had periods where they matched the Netherlands pretty evenly. And so it's so easy for me to see the progression in the program and the quality of play and the squad, and to actually see all the fruits of the labor that we've talked about, young team, 2022, 2026, looking forward, and to see them make a massive step forward. To me, if you keep in mind, long term, it's about 2026. I don't know how it's anything but a huge success for the U.S. men's national team.
Yeah, they got further than I thought. I thought they would go out in the group, and I think they showed a lot of grit and a lot of progression, like you said. But the main thing is the performances. You're right. They played better than the points they actually got in the group stage. And I think with the Netherlands, and it wasn't just for a couple of defensive mistakes that cost them dear, they would have been right in that game to the very end. And then if you got to the quarters, they probably would have given Argentina a good game. And I just think that we saw a lot of players really just elevate themselves beyond the level we've ever seen. And to do that at a World Cup, obviously, is the perfect time to do that. And I think it all came together pretty perfectly for Greg Berhalter as well. The lack of injuries to key players that have plagued them for the last couple of years. Tim Weah, McKennie, Tim Ream coming back into the team was excellent. Sergino Dest coming back into the team. Christian Pulisic being fit. And the only thing that really held them back was obviously not having that number 9, that natural finisher up top, that if they have that and they can find that in the next few years, then they can go on a deeper run at a World Cup. So I gave them a B- as well, Nick. I agree with that. I just think there was a little bit left in the tank, maybe from I just think belief level sometimes in some of those games against Wales, against England, if they were going to take a huge step forward, those games were there to be won. And I feel like they were just holding themselves back a little bit. But that's not a bad thing. That's going to maybe come with experience and the quality of players they have. Looking ahead to 2026, very positive. All right, let's talk about the MVP then for the USA. Nick, who are you going with? Who was the standout performer or performers for the USA?
Yeah, listen, there was so many you can honestly name. But But as time has gone on, I'm glad you didn't ask me this 2 weeks ago, because maybe I was trying to be a little bit different. But it has to be, in my opinion, it has to be Christian Pulisic. I love Tyler Adams. I think he was phenomenal. I know Pulisic missed a chance to score early against the Netherlands, but they don't get out of the group stage without him. He scores in the first half against Iran and takes that kick to the nether regions. He sets up the Weah goal with, if you watch back that goal, it's a brilliant pass from a player who's not necessarily in the position we always see him. So, and I want to give him credit. The weight of the country was on him, as that goofy little commercial goes with the pressure. He has been the name on everyone's lips from the minute he started in that game in Cuba, but the U.S. didn't make it out. And so we don't often maybe pat him on the back as much as we can, because we expect so much from him. And I think he largely delivered.
He did. So did a lot of other players, Andy. So who are you picking?
Yeah, I will go with Tyler Adams. His impact, and by the way, the interview that Jesse Marsh, Leeds United coach, did with Tim Howard that is on NBC's site is absolutely phenomenal. And the way that Jesse Marsh, who has coached Tyler Adams since he was 15 off and on, speaks about Tyler Adams, I think says absolutely everything about who he is and the importance of him as a player to various club teams that he's been on, and also now as he has become and been voted on by his teammates, it should be noted, captain of the U.S. men's national team for this World Cup. The impact that he has on the field and protecting the defense, and granted, I think he was at fault for one, maybe two of the goals against the Netherlands, and so he didn't have his best game in the biggest moment. But he gives both sides of the squad, going forward and defending, a massive platform to build off of. Helping out that defense, which was coming into the tournament a massive question at center back. Tim Ream, I think put a little bit of those fears at ease with some of his performances, but Adams was absolutely everywhere. And we always talk about the fighting spirit of the American player. Nobody embodies that more than Tyler Adams. And so from a leadership perspective, from a performance perspective, and just all of the intangibles that are involved with it, to me, I thought Nick was a little crazy going with Pulisic at first, but then as he laid it out, I was like, okay, it's a little bit closer than I thought, but to me, it's still Tyler Adams.
Yeah, it's a difficult choice. There's so many good performances. I mean, Tyler Adams, Musa alongside him was excellent considering how young he is. Obviously, Christian Pulisic, that's a fair choice, Nick. Totally understand that. And then the two fullbacks, Anthony Robinson and Sergino Dest, just gave the US something totally different out wide, and gave them a real weapon and a threat going forward. And that's where they really dominated teams out wide. But I'm going to go for a centre-back. I'm going to go for Tim Ream, someone that kind of known for a long time through college football, MLS. We've talked to him a lot over the years. And I spoke to him just before he left for the World Cup. He obviously played for Fulham against Man United, and I just caught up with him outside Craven Cottage, and I just said, it's inspirational, really, his story at the age of 35 to go to his first World Cup. And let's not forget, he wasn't really going to go unless a few injuries didn't crop up. And the way he's been playing for Fulham this season, absolute renaissance. We all know he's great on the ball, but defensively, he's been excellent. And he just said to me, one of the lessons in life is a roller coaster, but nobody can hold you back but yourself. And that was a pretty inspirational message that he gave out, and he definitely played like that. He gave every single ounce, and I think the defensive unit was the reason they got out of the group. We know the number 9 wasn't there. We know they weren't clicking that well in attack and finishing off chances. So you had to be solid at the back, and that was the big problem we had, right? Where's the number 9? Where's the centre backs? And Tim Ream answered that huge problem, and that's why I think when we talk about MVP, I think he was the most valuable. Because maybe if you took Tyler Adams out or Christian Pulisic out or one of the fullbacks, you still might, you might get through to the last 16. But I think if you take Tim Ream out of that team, I think the defense would have been creaking and probably broken down a few times during that tournament and group stage. So again, huge fan of his, and I just think it's a great story to never give up and always keep believing in yourself. And Tim Ream was a fine player. But I think his leadership skills, all the experience he had, I don't know if he's going to make it to the next World Cup, but he certainly, for me, was a standout performer for the USA at this World Cup.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host for NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos all season long. For even more Premier League content, from original series to live matches, head over to Peacock and be sure to tune in for Premier League mornings every weekend on USA Network and on Peacock. We will see you over there.